Hey guys, this is Joe over at Synergy17, and today I'm going to show you how to knock the background out of graphics in Photoshop. Someone in the group had asked about, I think, Photoshop Elements, but I don't have Elements, I just have the regular version of Photoshop. So it should be pretty similar, but I'm not sure if it'll be exact. So to get started, I brought in this graphic. I like to use, there's several methods. You can do the mask mode. You can use different tools here. I like to use the general Lasso Tool when I do it. And I'll kind of show you why I like it. But for this example, something that makes it a little bit more difficult is this dress blends in with the background. So it's kind of difficult to see right here and right here. So what I'm going to do on this one, you don't have to do this for every single one, but for this example, I'm going to double click and create a layer here. I'm going to make a copy of this by dragging it down here. It makes a copy, and I'm going to turn this one off. So what I'm going to do on this one is I just want to change the color. I'm brightening it up a bit. So let's go to Image, Adjust, and I'm going to go to Levels here. All I really want to do is bring this and darken it up a bit, just so I can see it. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK. It's good enough for me. And then the next thing I do is people's eyes see color slightly different, so I'm going to say adjust, and I'm going to adjust the hue saturation. And as I do the color change, you can see how the dress, how everything changes, but you can kind of see the edges of some parts of the dress. So that's why I'm kind of just showing you back and forth. Like this color might be difficult to see, but this blue might be a little bit better. So it's kind of up to you on what you can see better with your eyes. I'm going to use this, I'm going to go all the way this way and use this blue right here. Excuse me. So I'm going to leave that way, and I'm doing this so I could easily see the edges a lot better than what I could see before. So first of all, I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a couple of the keys I use. So in general, when you have the Lasso Tool, I'm going to click, and when you drag it, it makes a selection. Okay, so just think about that. As I do this, it makes a selection. Okay, so now that you know that, when I hold Shift, it does let me grab a selection. If I hold Shift, you'll see there's a little plus sign by my lasso, which means I could add to it. If I hold Alt, it puts a minus sign, which means it takes away from it. So see, as I do this, it takes away from my selection. So those are the main things I use, is the Lasso Tool, Shift, and Alt to add and subtract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this layer here, and I'm going to use the magic wand to make a quick selection. What I mean by that is I just want it to select a lot of this space. I hold Shift, and when I hold Shift, sorry, explain it. When I click this here, it adds this, and you have a tolerance up here. The more, the higher the tolerance, the more it'll grab. So see, I've grabbed a lot of this stuff here versus, whoops, Control D. So I want this down to like maybe 15, just to grab this outer part, grab the outer part of this. I'm trying to select as much as this as possible, but I don't want the dress. So it's perfectly fine what it grabbed. Now I'm going to switch over to my Lasso Tool, because now I want to actually deselect this. So I'm going to hold the Alt to deselect. I'm just going to do a real rough pass of the dress, rough pass. And what I'm doing is I'm saying don't select any of this here. Okay, so it's just a real rough pass. So when I got rid of a lot of it. Now I'm going to hold Shift to say, hey, but I do want this corner. I do want that part of the selection. And you know what? I do want this as well. Okay, now what we could do is we can zoom in a little bit and see like what else we might have missed. So if I want this to be a little bit smoother, I could hold let's switch back to my Lasso Tool. I could hold the minus and say, hey, I don't want any of these rough edges here. But I can kind of look around and see what's selected. I can use my hand tool to move around. So like for example, it's fuzzy right here, but I do want that. So I'm going to hold, I'm sorry, I do want that not to be included. So I'm going to hold the minus and grab a little bit of that, kind of come along here, and you'll see that it kind of took it to the outside. Excuse me. I'm going to hold shift because I do want this part. I want all this to be selected as part of this outside part. But I see right here I want part of that to be the dress, so I'm deselecting that. And I'll deselect this part as well. And I look at this. Now, because the dress was clear, you can't tell if this is part of the dress right here or not part. So that's kind of up to you. Like I said, I could either minus this away. Whoops. Undo that. Shift C. I meant to hit the. I want to plus it away. I want to take this part and add it to the selection to say that's not part of the dress. Okay. Go over here. So here's some more we can fix. So I want that to be part of the selection, but I don't want this part to be part of the dress. So I'm just kind of following, what I think is the dress and what I don't think is the dress. So, oops. And then I could always switch back to the pink version just to get it, and I just take a look at that. So kind of going along here. I want to deselect this part. Deselect this part here. So let me zoom out. So if that's good enough, zoom out some more. Okay. So if I'm happy with that, what I could do now is, so if I just hit delete right now, it deletes it and it's gone. And if I messed up, if I actually deleted part of the dress, it's kind of gone. So I'm going to undo that because I don't want to do that. I just want to make something called a mask. And there's a button right here that adds the mask. So when I do that, it'll create the layer mask. But I'm going to say select invert because I just actually want to mask around it. I don't want to mask the dress itself. I want to mask around it. So if you click this button here now, you'll see that it made the mask. So now you can put your white background in the back, behind it. When you export it as a JPEG, it'll put a white background behind it automatically. If you want to add color to the background, you can just say new layer and drag that to the bottom and then put whatever color you want. If you want it to be slightly gray a little bit, maybe, I don't know, sure, whatever you want. See, so now I have this grayish background here. You could turn it off and just export it and have white. You can go back to the default colors and fill it with white if that's really what you want. But that's the way you would do that. And if you did mess up, let's say I accidentally masked part of this off, or I don't like the way it looks, you can click on the mask and you could say add the mask to the selection and it puts it back. So then I can actually go back here and start doing, like I was doing before, the Alt and Shift to minus or add it. And then you can resave your mask. So anyways, that's how you do it.